Okay, so welcome back to the day 22 session. In yesterday's session, previous session, we have seen about Q interface and its implementation classes, and we have seen some programs. So how exactly it is working, when you will go for that, different properties we have seen with respect to different implementation classes of Q interface. Now we have next interface is what set. Okay, so where set is uh, interface which is extending from of course collection, and we have sorted set is also there. Sorted set is extending from set, and this is extending from collection. So this is all about, you need to understand about what set interface and then sorted set. So first let's discuss about what set interface. Okay, so yes, you may ask, so sir, why we are using set interface? For example, if I open set interface API in Java. Okay, set interface API in Java. For example, if I close this, so if I open this set interface, one second. Okay, so see here, public interface set extends collection. So that set interface places additional stipulations beyond those inherited from the collection interface on the contracts of all constructors and on the contracts of the add, equals, and hash code methods. Declarations for other inherited methods are also included here for convenience itself. A collection that contains no duplicate elements. More formally, sets contain no pair of elements E1 and E2 such that E1 dot equals of E2, and that at most one null element as implied by its name. This interface models the mathematical set abstraction. Some information is there, and this got introduced in 1.2. And if you are observing, this is the interface. And if you are observing implementation classes, we have abstract set, concurrent hash map, key set view, concurrent skill list, skip list set. So many are there, but usually frequently we are using hash set, linked hash set, tree set. Okay, tree set we are not considering directly for the set interface, for usually for the sorted set. Okay, so we'll see that also. Right. So after we have seen this, so set is the predefined, okay, one-dimensional collection framework interface available in java.util package. And when should you go for this one? It supports both homogeneous and heterogeneous data. Okay, this is what you need to understand. Heterogeneous objects you can add. And one more thing is duplicates are not allowed in the case of set interface. And one more thing is insertion order is not preserved. I mean, how exactly it is the insertion order is coming out, we are not in a position to predict because it internally follows some hashing mechanism. Based on that insertion order is coming. We are not sure about whether we are getting in the same order or some other order. We are not in a position to predict the order. So null insertion is possible. Null insertion is possible, but only for okay one time, since it does not allow duplicates, but only for one time itself. So if these are your properties, definitely we should go for what set interface. So as I said, set is an interface. You can't create an object of set interface directly like this. Okay, directly like this. Invalid, you can't create because set is an interface. So if the set is an interface, since you can't create an object for the set interface, we have to create the object for its implementation classes. What are the implementation classes we have? Hash set is there. Come on, please. Hash set. And then we have one more is there. That is what? Linked hash set. Come on, please. Linked hash set. Okay, linked hash set. These two are the implementation classes for the set interface. We will see with respect to the properties, whatever I told, whether are these are applicable or not. You just observe here. Let me open our workspace under SRC, under CFW. We have, let me try to like define this new and then take this class as the test file. All right, test file. Here, define this, define the main method, define this main method, save it. And now try to understand here, if I'm creating the object for the set interface like this, immediately we are getting the error saying that we can't instantiate. Okay, first of all, we supposed to like what import from java.util.set, and still if you keep the cursor, you see cannot instantiate the type set itself. So that is the reason you can map to like what control shift O is for importing this hash set. This is fine. Set s equals to new hash set. Okay, set s equals to new hash set. So we created the object of what hash set itself. So s dot add of okay abc Okay, I'm just adding string data, s dot add of, okay, null, I'm adding s dot add of 1, 2, 3, s dot add of true, okay, s dot add of, okay, again 1, 2, 3. Like this, I'm trying to add some data where I'm trying to add duplicate data, where I'm trying to add null data for one time, where I'm trying to add heterogeneous data, so that you just observe system.out.println enough. Yes, when I try to run this application, you're not, I mean, okay. Nothing is coming. 1 second. Okay, still it is running. Just wait. I don't know why it is taking this much time. 1 second. Yeah, if you observe null ABC 1, 2, 3 true. So that means what? Null 1, 2, 3 you added 2 times, but it is displaying only 1 time. So that means what? It won't allow duplicates. So and ABC null and then true Boolean data. So meaning that it allows both homogeneous and heterogeneous, but only it is not allowing duplicates, and insertion order is also not preserved. Okay, insertion order is also not preserved. That will be taken care by some internal algorithm itself, some kind of mechanism itself. We are not in a position to predict the order. Sir, if that is the case, then what is the another implementation class? What is the difference between hash set and then linked hash set? So it's very simple, sir. If I am creating the object for the linked hash set instead of hash set now, okay, with this difference only we can easily understand. If I run this application, now we are getting ABC null 1, 2, 3 true. So meaning that in case of hash set, it is not following the insertion order. But in case of linked hash set, with respect to set, if I want some kind of insertion order, okay, then we will go for what? Linked hash set. So what is the difference between hash set and then linked hash set? Along with it, all these properties are applicable. Only the property is insertion order is preserved. Come on, please. So insertion order is preserved in case of, okay, linked hash set, but it is not in case of, come on, please, but it is not in case of one hash set itself. That is only the difference between the hash set implementation class and the linked hash set. Remaining other what? Same itself. Okay, control V, and then here it is an example I am just giving you. It's a basic example, sir. Basic example. Save it. All right. So that is all about what set and then hash set itself. Now immediately, so for the set, because like collection has already so many methods are there. All those methods you are able to like what invoke. That's not a problem. But the point is, set is having any other specific methods? No, sir. Set is not having any other methods. Whatever the methods are having inside the collection, those methods only will be inherited to set, and those methods only we are able to use here itself. Okay. No specific methods are available from the in the set interface. So that is what I am trying to convey here itself. So after this, any other thing you have? For example, sir. Okay. So situation since the point is here, we are adding this heterogeneous data, and then we are printing. When I'm trying to run this, it is trying to like what giving you all the data at once itself. For example, I want to like what display this data all at once, not all at once. I wanted to like what display this data one by one itself. Sir, if this is your requirement, how can you display? So, sir, we have so many ways are there. For example, using for each loop, for I int I equals to 0, I less than s dot size, okay, I plus plus system dot out dot println of s dot get off. Sorry, if there is any get method is there? I think 1 second. S dot there is no get method, I guess, because if it is a list we have a get method. Still inside the collection we have a get method is there, right? Let me cross check collection API in Java. Here if I open this collection, so many methods are there. Now I'm just okay, get method is not there here. So then how can we access this? 1 second. To retrieve the data, which method we have to use? Okay. The remove method is there, add method is there, clear method and all these things are there. Okay, iterator, there is another way is there. We don't have any get method, that's fine. But okay, so now, okay, since forget about this for loop, I am applying, try to like what for each loop. I'll try to like what apply the for each loop. So for each loop or in enhanced for loop is same, sir. So how can you apply? You just observe. How can you apply? You just observe. Second, 1 second. All right, sir. So for of the data type name is, so sir, right now my S is actual variable name where it contains entire object data. I mean, it is a collection data, right? It is an S. But right now my S is in a position to like what accept any type of data, whether you may add a object data, I mean string data, null data, integer object, boolean object, any data. Your collection object is in a position to accept any type of data. So you can't mention the data type name as integer, or you can't mention data type as what boolean. You can't mention the data type name as something like string, because if you mention any single specific data, okay, but right now your collection object is in a position to accept any type of data. So how can you represent that particular type of data? So okay, so for this you have to like what mention the data type name as what object. So if you mention the object, meaning that object inside the object data type, we can store any type of data. So that is the reason I am just specifying the object as my data type name here itself in the for each loop. So temporary variable name is O, any name, and the actual variable name is S itself. Okay, now system.out.println of O. So in this way, we are able to like what apply the for each loop on top of this, so that we are able to get the data one by one itself, instead of displaying all the data all at once in the open square and then close the square bracket. So, sir, for example, now I'm instead of adding like this, okay, I'm adding only integer data. Assume, sir, int I equals to 1, I less than or equals to 10, I plus plus, I plus plus. Understand the concept, and then I'll give you the clarity. Save it. So s dot add of I. So meaning that you are adding which data? Tell me. You are adding which data? Tell me. Integer data. Okay, only integer data. So is it possible to like what specify the integer here directly? No, sir. Why? Because Anna, your S is not in a position to accept only integers. Your S is in a position, your collection object is in a position to accept any type of data. So, but then how can you specify integer only? You may add, because Java compiler is not aware. You may add, or some other programmer may add some other type of data. If you mention integer, it is violating that rule. That is the reason you have to like what mention which type. Tell me object only, even though if you are adding same type of data to my collection object. If I run this application, now you are getting 1 to 10. You are getting what, sir? 1 to 10. Okay, so that is fine. Whatever the data I'm adding, I'm just getting. Since why I'm getting in the order? Because of you created the object for the linked hash set. If it is a linked hash set, obviously insertion order is preserved. In case of hash set, it may we are not in a position to predict that order. That is what I'm saying. So now the point is, after this for each loop, my requirement is I don't want to like what display the data which you added 1 to 10. I wanted to like what display only even numbers. Sir, if this is the requirement, what I have to do? If O percentile 2 double equals to 0, system dot out dot println of O. Let me save this. Immediately we are getting the error, sir. Immediately we are getting the error. Why? Because if you keep the cursor here, the operator percentile is undefined for the argument type object. On top of the object type, you are not allowed to perform arithmetic operations. So what we have to do? You have to convert that object type to integer. So then only we are able to perform the arithmetic operation. How can you perform? How can you convert? Integer I equals to, okay, integer O. So this is which casting? Tell me. This is which casting? From the parent type to child type. From the parent type to child type. Parent type to child type. Which casting? Tell me, sir. Down casting. Okay. So after this, if I percentile 2 double equals to 0, system dot out dot println of I. Save it. When I try to run this, now we are getting only even numbers. So now we are getting what, sir? Even numbers only. Now we are getting only even numbers. So this is fine, fantastic. I mean, there is no problem. We are adding only integer data to the linked hash set, and then we are applying the for each loop. Since our requirement is to display only the even numbers, we are typecasting from object type to integer. But sir, okay, what is the problem here? What is the problem here? You are going to typecast. You are going to typecast. Typecasting is pakka required. And moreover, Okay. Moreover, if this is the case, for example, s dot add of, okay, I am adding ABC. Am I getting any compile time error, sir? No. Am I getting any compile time error? No, we are not getting compile time error. But if you run this application, for sure you are getting the runtime error saying that class cast exception. How ABC is going to be comparing with this percentile 2 double equals to 0? Okay, so that is why if our requirement is, if you know in advance, only I wanted to add same type of data, only I wanted to add same type of data to my collection object, then make sure specify the data type here. Okay, specify the data type here. For example, sir, now my requirement is to only add integer objects. So then specify that, okay, using the syntax integer. You mention it. You mention the data type. You mention the data type, sir. So this is what kind of concept, generics concept. Okay, generics concept is saying while you are creating the object of any collection, if you are specifying that specific data type, okay, then this concept is what we call generics concept. So, sir, what is the purpose or what is the advantage of using this generics concept? Sir, not only on top of the set interface applying this generics, on top of any Java collection class, based on the requirement, you can apply this generics concept. Okay, sir, my requirement is to only add integer objects to my set interface. If that is the case, then why should you go for what, why should you go for what this particular, without specifying this generics concept? What are the problems we are getting? You have to typecast, and moreover, you are not getting any compile time error. So compile time errors are far better than runtime errors, sir. So, sir, by mistake or by intentionally, now if I am adding s dot add of ABC, previously we did not get any compile time error, but right now we are getting the compile time error. Why? Because you mentioned this. If you create the object of any collection class by mentioning the type of the data using this generics concept, if you are trying to add any other unspecified data, immediately it is giving you the compile time error. Sir, compile time errors are better or runtime errors are better? Of course, compile time errors are far better than runtime errors. Immediately when the compile time errors are coming, you can easily fix it. Okay, so that is the reason. Okay, based on the requirement, you can apply this particular generics concept also. And moreover, using this generics concept, one more advantage is there. What is that advantage? You no need to mention the object type now. You can mention integer type. Why? Because, sir, because you already told to this, you already told to the Java compiler, okay, my collection class is only taking integer objects. It is not taking any other objects. Then you can mention the same data type here itself. If you are mentioning right now, my O is not an object type, my O is an of integer type. On top of the integer, happily you can perform any arithmetic operation. Then why should you go forward this typecasting? Then why should you go forward this typecasting? It is not at all required, right? So happily you can remove it. Happily you can remove it. Let me save this. Okay, here I, there is no I, here only O. So here also O itself. Let me save this, and if I run this application, happily we are able to get the output whatever you want. So my point is here, when based using generics concept, we are getting okay, two advantages. We are getting two advantages. What are those? Tell me. Compile time errors are bad. Compile time errors we are getting. Compile time errors only. Compile time errors we will get. We will get rather than, okay, rather than runtime errors. Rather than runtime errors. And these errors, these compile time errors are far better than runtime errors. Far better than runtime errors itself. And the second point you need to understand is, we no need to perform, okay, typecasting, okay, when you apply generics concept, so why should you go for what generics concept? When should you go for this particular generics concept? If our requirement, or if you know, okay, if we knew in advance only my collection class, okay, only I want to add only some particular type of or specific type of data to my only collection class, then happily I can go for what, okay, my collection class allows only particular type of data. Okay, then I can create the collection class object by specifying by specifying a particular or by specifying that type of data, by specifying that data type. Okay, so all these points you need to understand. This is the generic concept which was introduced in the 1.5 version, sir. Which was introduced in the 1.5 version. Before this, you have to always, whenever you will get, you supposed to like what always perform this downcasting and all these things itself. So I hope you got the clarity regarding this generic concept. Here I am applying this for each loop. Okay, where I am previously I did not apply this generic concept. Now I am applying this generic concept. So without applying, with applying, you just try to like what observe the difference itself. So not only on top of the set, sir, you can apply this generic concept on top of any collection class, not only anything, not only this one, on top of any collection class you can apply. This is one of the important concept you need to understand, sir. And one more thing is, so far I am adding integer object, or string object or some other, all these are the predefined objects I am adding. Now how to add, okay, user defined object to any collection class, okay, whatever it might be, any collection class. So whether it might be array list or linked list or any other thing, I wanted to add some data and then I wanted to show you itself. So for example, here in the test2.java, here array list is there, sir. Here array list is there. Now I am just creating here. Let me save this. You just delete it. Now I wanted to like what add student data. Now I wanted to like what add only student data itself. Okay. I'll save it. So I wanted to like what add student data. That is the reason I am specifying this generic version. So sir, student was not there now so far. That is the reason try to like what create the student class. Okay, I am creating the student class. What are these here? It may contain some properties. So string st name and then private int stid. And then I'm trying to like what generate getters and setters. Select all. Okay, generate it. Public student. Okay, open it. So this is the default constructor. Maintain all these things. Int stid, string st name, and try to like what maintain the parameterized constructor also. And this one also you can generate it, sir, by using just like that I'm typing. And moreover, try to like what override the toString method also. This will be help you. Okay, return stid plus anything plus string is only. So that is the reason it is matching to like what this one. So in this way, I'm preparing you this particular student class, sir. Now come to like what test2, and here al.add of new student of 100 Rama. Save it, sir. al.add of new student of 101. Okay, something like okay, something like Pavan, save it. al.add of new student of 102. Okay, Praveen. So like this, I'm just adding few names itself along with this student data. So sir, for example, al.add of 100 I'm adding. Immediately we are getting the error, sir. Compile time error. Why? Because Anna, while you are creating the array list, you specified it allows only student type of objects. How can you add another object? So it is not accepting. So immediately it is giving you what? Compile time error. So sir, now system.out.println of al, sir. So if I am printing al, where al is a collection object, internally this collection object contains what? Student objects. Whenever it is trying to display student objects, internally it is invoking which method? ToString method itself. Sir, when I try to run this application, when I try to run this 100 Rama, 101 Pavan, 102 Praveen. Sir, if you are not overriding this ToString method, immediately we are getting that class name at the rate of hash code itself. Save it and then you just check it now. When I try to run this, immediately you see student at the rate of 3 student objects. 3 are student. Okay, 2 student objects. Okay, 3 student objects are coming since you are not overriding the ToString method. So in this way, you need to like what understand the concept of adding the user defined objects to any Java collection class. Sir, you may ask one question, sir, how can you apply this for each loop on top of this? Happily, you can apply this for each loop, sir. So how can you apply this? Tell me on top of this for each loop. For rough, come on, please. For rough, okay, what is the data type name? Data type name is what? Student only. So temporary variable name is any variable name. Actual variable name is al. That's it. System.out.println of yes. Save it. So in this way, if I try to run this 100 Rama, 101 Pavan, 102 Praveen. So in this way, we are able to like what get this data. So sir, now my requirement is I wanted to like what display the student names which are going to be starting with the P. So if this is my requirement, what you have to do is if s dot. So where s is what? Where s is an object of what? Student, right? Where s dot. Getter methods are already there, na? Get st name. So get st name is giving you string, right? So on top of this string, okay, so I am applying starts with method where I am giving, come on please, where I am giving p, where I am giving p. So then system.out.println, yes, save it. If I run this application, immediately we are getting only the students which are going to be started with what? Pavan and then P itself. That is the reason we are getting Pavan and then as well as what? Praveen. So in this way, we do have like lot of requirements, you will get it, but you need to like what understand. Okay. So when you supposed to like what think, okay, yes is my student object. On top of student object, you call the getStName method so that it is giving you the string object. So on top of the string object, I can call this predefined method where it is used to cross check whether this name is going to be started with PRS or some other name. So then accordingly, we are able to like what filter the data. So like this, lot of requirements will come. You need to like what thoroughly aware of all these things. So in this way, you will get the requirements while you are doing the application implementation in the real world. All right. So this is all about what, adding the user defined object to any collection class. It might be array list, or it might be linked list, or it might be hash set or linked hash set or anything. So based on the again requirements, you have to like what choose the corresponding collection class, and we have to like what add like this. Okay, save it, and then here I'm just adding and then giving itself. Okay. So now, so far we have done with the set interface, and now I'm going to like what discuss about what sorted set interface. Sir, when should you go for what sorted set interface? If this is your requirement, only first requirement is what? It supports only, come on please, homogeneous data. Okay, it supports only homogeneous data, right? You may ask one, or you may get one doubt, sir. Collection, why should we go for what collections from arrays? Because of collection arrays are not supporting homogeneous and heterogeneous. That is the reason we should go for what this particular collection framework, where it is possible to add any type of data. But in case of sorted set, it supports only homogeneous data. This requirement you need to understand. And moreover, sir, duplicates are not allowed. Duplicates are not allowed. And insertion order, I mean the order we can predict, sir. We can predict, meaning that it will sort the data, sir. Okay, natural sorting order technique is there. Natural sorting technique. Okay, if it is a alphabetical order. Okay, if it is a alphabetical order from ascending to descending, and if it is a numeric data, ascending order. So this is the natural sorting technique. If you really wanted to change it, as you can change it also, that is the another requirement I will show you. But the problem is, I mean, null insertion, I think null insertion is possible or not possible? Is not possible, is not possible. So if you are trying to add so we are getting null pointer exception. So, okay, null pointer exception. Why? Because, so since it is supporting only homogeneous data, how if you are trying to add the null value, since it is coming in some sorting order, so how the value is going to be compared from another value to like what null value, which one is big, which one is small? We can't in a position to like what compare. That is the reason you are not allowed to like what add these null values also. So if these are your requirements, then happily we can go for sorted set interface. And moreover, sir, I wanted to like what sorted set is the sub interface of, okay, set interface. Okay, again it is the sub interface of, already it is the sub interface of what, sir? Okay, collection. So now sorted set is maintaining some specific new methods, okay, which are not coming from the collections. What are those methods? I wanted to show you, sir. You just open here, and here if I change this sorted set.html, yeah, you see interface sorted set. Okay, so implementation class, I'm going to like what show you tree set. And here if you're observing, first method, head set, last, okay, tail set, subset, these methods, sir. Okay, first, last, head set, tile set, subset, these things. Okay, so first method will give you the first, last method, head set, okay, tile set, and then subset. These are the few different specific methods are available inside the sorted set. And you may ask one question for this sorted set interface. What is the implementation class we are going to use, sir? Tree set itself. These things you need to understand. So whatever the properties I told you, based on these properties, I wanted to like what show you one program so that you will get the clarity. Just observe here, new class, test 6, and here I am defining the main method. I am defining the main method, sir. One second. Okay, save it, sir. So After this, you can't create the object of sorted set S equals to new sorted set, new sorted set. So immediately we are getting the error and it is expecting some type of data itself also. So save it. So sorted set only I wanted to like what add this time integer objects. Okay. So if this is your requirement, Control Shift O is for importing the sorted set. Yes, it is getting imported. And now I wanted to why the error is coming. Okay. 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 Save it. Sir. So sorted set. Why this error is coming? Cannot. Okay. So it is a sorted set, right? It is an interface. So we have to like what create the object for its implementation class. That is the reason it is giving you the problem in my previous issue. So but now if I keep the cursor, but still type safety, the expression type tree set needs unchecked conversion. We no need to like what specify this. Okay. For example, okay, 1 second. Tree set I am creating the object. Okay, save it. Control Shift O, save it. But why it is coming like this? You no need to specify, but okay, fine. The error is gone, but actually in the recent versions for the syntax twice, okay, now the error is gone. I don't know what was the error previously, but okay, we have mentioned tree set where I wanted to like what add only integer objects to my tree set object. Okay, so s dot add off. Okay, s dot add off where s is an object of tree set right now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I'm adding s dot add off. Okay, 876. I'm adding s dot add off. 98. I'm adding s dot add off. 67. I'm adding s dot add off. Okay, 1000 I'm adding like this. I'm adding different data I'm adding, sir. So you just observe here system dot out dot println of. Okay, yes. If I'm printing yes, what is the data you are expecting? Tell me. Okay, for example, if I'm adding s dot add of null, am I getting any? Am I getting any? 1 second. Am I getting any compile time error? We are not getting any compile time error. But when you try to run it, you will get the what is this null pointer exception. You are not allowed to add any other type of data. Only it is accepting the heterogeneous data. Okay, sorry, homogeneous data. If you are trying to add any other type of data, whether it might be null or whether it might be any other type of data, you will get the error. Of course, you mentioned here generics only it is accepting integer. But even though if you are removing, okay, even though if you are removing, okay, if you're trying to like what add right now ABC I'm adding. Okay, if I'm trying to like what run it, immediately we are getting the error saying that class cast exception. You're not allowed to like what add different type of data. You are only able to like what add only the same type of data, homogeneous data only you are able to add. So that is one point I wanted to convey. So okay, here anyhow I'm mentioning integer only. So I am not going to like what specify here, save it. And if I try to like what run this, okay, immediately whether you are observing or not, 67, 98, 123, 876,000. In which order we are getting? Tell me. In the ascending order we are getting or not, sir? Yes. So for example, okay, for example, save it. Here, if I am mentioning like string, save it. S dot add off. Okay. S dot add off. Rama. S dot add off. Okay. Praveen. So S dot add off. Okay. So Harish. So S dot add off. Okay. You just add some values itself. S dot add off. Okay. John. So like this, you just add some values. Okay. System dot out dot println of. Yes. If I try to like what run this, you just observe the output now also. Harish, John, Praveen, Rama. In the alphabetical dictionary order only we are getting. So meaning that some kind of sorting technique is going to be applying by the JVM internally when you are creating the object of the tree set itself. So that is the reason we are not predicting. I mean, we can predict, but insertion order is not preserved, meaning that in which order you are adding, in the same order we are not getting the output. So some sorting techniques are going to be applied to on top of this tree set object by the Java, JVM. So accordingly, we are able to record get the data. So sir, so for example, okay, so now you got the point. You got the point when you are adding integer data, when you are adding the string data, how exactly the output is coming, you can easily observe itself. Now, so after, now for example, sir, I am adding only integer data, assume. I'm adding only integer data. If I'm mentioning here, save it. Now try to understand, only this data I'm adding. So now my requirement is, I wanted to tell something. Okay, whatever the new methods I told you, I wanted to like what show you those new methods itself. For example, system.out.println yes dot first method. So these methods only are available inside the sorted set interface and its implementation class, not on the set interface. So if I run this application, so first is giving you what 67. So when it is getting sorted, so 67 is the first element. That is the reason. So if you're not really understanding, if I'm saving this, if I try to run this, if you're observing 67 is the starting element. So in the same manner, apply the other method s dot last method. So it will give you the last method. Of course, last method is what 1000. Okay. So headset, tileset, subset also I will try to apply. Headset, tileset, and subset also I will try to like what apply, and then I'll show you. S dot headset. If I'm see here, returns a view of the portion of the set whose elements are strictly less than 2 element. For example, okay, headset of, for example, here less than 2 element, right? For example, 123 if I'm using, 123 if I'm using. So less than this 123, what are they tell me? 67 and then 98 itself. So those methods we are getting, those data we are getting itself, 67 and then 98. Whatever the element you are specifying, less than this particular element, we are getting when you are applying the headset method itself. So, and one more method, system.out.println of, okay, yes dot tail set. So if I'm mentioning this tail set, see here. For example, here also if I'm mentioning 123, so what is happening? Tell me, tail set method. See here, returns a view of the portion of the set whose elements are greater than or equal to from element. Greater than or equals to. So 123 will be included, 876 and then 1000. So three elements we are able to get. See here, 123, 876, 1000 itself. Greater than or equal to from this particular element itself. And in the same manner, system.out.println of s dot subset of, okay, subset. For example, why we are using subset in the range? For example, here 98 I'm using. Okay, 98 and I'm just using 876 I'm using here. So what is happening? You just observe 98 and then 876. So sir, 98. So if you keep the subset, returns a view of the portion of the set whose elements range from element inclusive to element exclusive itself. So 98 will be included. Okay, 98 after 123, 123 after 876, but 876 will not be included. The target element which you specified will not be included, that will be excluded. If that is the case, two elements we are expecting when you run this application, 98 and then 123. Okay, for example, here 1000 if I am passing, 1000 will not be included because target element is always exclusive when you are applying the subset method. These are all the different new methods which are available inside the sorted set interface. Okay, these methods we are able to like what apply on top of its implementation class like this. So this is all about what tree set interface. This is all about what tree set interface. And right, you may get one doubt itself, sir. In second, if our requirement is okay to display the data in our own order, in our customized order, so that is also possible. That I will take care in my next session itself. So far in this session, what we have discussed, one second. So far in this particular session, what we have discussed is something like, okay, so set interface and its implementation class regarding linked hash set and then hash set, and then tree set. Okay, sorry, sorted set is interface and its implementation class tree set. And meanwhile, we are applying the we have seen the concept of generics and applying the for each loop, and how to add the user defined objects to any collection class. How to add a user defined objects, okay, to the collection class itself. Okay, so try to like what practice these concepts, okay, and be confident on top of these hands-on. So we'll try to like what tell you the next concepts in my next session itself. Okay, so hope these sessions are helping you to understand the okay or gain the core Java knowledge. Please try to like what practice and then share this video, like this video to your needy friends. Okay, thank you. We'll meet in the next session. Bye.